Today we have yet another special podcast with us, and we have a young changemaker today with us. We have Nirvaan Somany from the Project Genes Initiative. Welcome to aidbees, Nirvaan. Welcome to our podcast. We're really glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, quick introduction about Nirvaan. He's a student of class 11th from Sri Ram School, Moulsari, Gurgaon. And he is working on this initiative called Project Jeans, where they make a denim sleeper bag for people in need with the recycled jeans they collect. Correct, Nirvaan?
Yeah,
Cool. So we're going to talk to you about a lot many things because this sounds really intriguing and exciting. And also, this is something that people should understand that having a sustainable and kind, you know, out uh, perspective towards environment and sustainability. So let's
right.
start by actually discussing what this project Jeans is and who do you give these sleeping bags to? So like, what's the entire structure of it? If you could take me through it.
Sure. Yeah. So basically, we're a not-for-profit organization that collects denim from people around the country. So we have collection drives in different schools and organizations, as well as people who just donate themselves. And then we take these jeans and we produce sleeping bags out of them. And these sleeping bags go to people on the streets of Delhi who don't have a place to sleep in the cold. And the reason we choose jeans to make our sleeping bags with over any other material is because denim is a very good insulator. So denim in the US is actually used for insulating houses as well. So it's recycled to make insulation panels. So it can keep you warm at pretty low temperatures. And we've tested ours out. It works up to about 5 degrees very comfortably. And secondly, it's a very strong material. Anyone who owns jeans would know that it doesn't tear very easily and things like that. And so it makes it ideal for these conditions. And lastly, it takes about 10,000 liters of water to make a single pair of jeans. And that's something most people don't realize. It's a lot of water that goes into it. So the environmental impact of denim is very vast. So for that reason, I thought that it was important to recycle this fabric, and hence this was a good way to do it. So that's why.
Very, very true indeed. Also, just to think of it that grade 11 and your age is very young, and you are the future of tomorrow for that matter. Where does the inspiration of something like this come from? Like, where did this project, the Gene stem in your mind from?
Okay, so a few years ago, I read the fact that a single pair of jeans takes 10,000 liters of water, and that's more water than I think any of us could like use in an entire year, probably. Like it's a lot of water. And a few years ago, I was taking part in a competition called Young Entrepreneurs Academy, where you basically come up with a business model and you pitch it to a few judges. And so that's when I came up with this sleeping bag product. But back then it was as like an actual business. And just at the end of COVID, I realized that this can actually have a very large social impact as well. So that's when I actually moved forward with it and turned it into Project Genes.
It is indeed very true because recycling something like denim, which also takes so much of effort to make and also takes so much of effort to, uh, get off the tracks. It is really important to recycle that, and it's really inspiring that you're doing this. So,
Yeah.
do you want to track down some sort of history in terms of when did you start it and how it all began?
Sure. So I started this initiative at the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
Uh, am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
So at the beginning of last year, I started the initiative, and what we did back then is we didn't know it would reach this scale, so we started with a simple WhatsApp message that we sent around our friends and family in like WhatsApp groups and things like that to donate jeans, and slowly that message went viral across India, and we started getting calls from all around the place to donate jeans. And so we spent the summer just collecting as many jeans as we could and working on a prototype at the same time. And
Interesting.
once we were ready with that, we started production alongside the collection of jeans. So through around September to November of last year, we were doing a combination of collecting and producing, and then finally we reached a good number around middle of November, and so that's when we started actually distributing and moving to the sales part of it. Because what we actually do is we sell these sleeping bags to people that would like to donate. So you can either buy them and donate them yourself, or you can sponsor someone and we'll donate it on your behalf. And we sell them at cost at 800 rupees because we actually hire artisan women to make the sleeping bags. So it helps empower them and give them jobs. And so our costs come in the labor as well as this padding material we fill within the sleeping bag and just small things like that. So we sell it exactly at cost uh, to people, and you can either buy it and go out and donate it yourself, or every few weeks we go ourselves and donate on behalf of those who would prefer that as a method.
That's
And
that's
that's what we've been doing for the
That's a
last.
great initiative, yes. So when we talk of recycling clothes and something like denim for that matter, uh,
Hmm.
what are some important things that are to be kept in mind? Let's say, are there something that you should, are there some rules, or is there a way that you would recycle a certain product? Are there some tips that you want to give?
Well, I think the most important thing is to actually recycle it into something good. What I find is that a lot of people just recycle for the sake of recycling, and the product that they recycle it into isn't actually very useful. So I
Mhm.
think keeping in mind the fact that you turn it into something with some actual meaning, that's probably the most important thing. How you go about doing it depends totally on what the thing is and what you'd like to turn it into. So I think any form of recycling is great, but I think it's important that it actually has a good use rather than just doing it for the sake of it.
Interesting. I was going through your Instagram recently and I came across this drive that you also did with one of our partner NGOs, Salam Balak, and then another one that you did with, I think, Robin Hood Army.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
So
do
actually,
you
Robin,
have,
sorry,
yeah,
yeah.
please, yeah, please continue.
So Robin Hood Army has actually been a big help to us because they are obviously very experienced with the streets of Delhi. So they help us with the actual donations, like the actual distribution. So when we go out at night, we go with the Robin Hood Army and they send volunteers. And so we pick different parts of Delhi to go to, and they know like the locations where we'll find a lot of people that could actually benefit from this. So for example, a few weeks ago, we went outside AIMS Hospital in Delhi.
Wow.
So we like I think a good 100 people there that needed, and we're very like grateful for the sleeping bag. So like they can really help us logistically to find the place as well as actually provide the manpower we need to like help us donate it. So yeah, I think yeah.
That's a great attempt, and also so many nice activities happening around. So talking of the future, Nirvan, do you have any plans to escalate this into a bigger initiative now that this is non-profit, maybe to bigger cities or more schools or amongst your friends?
So I mean, I think schools wise, yeah, of course, as many as we can get. One of the things I'm also trying to do with this project, more than just make these sleeping bags and distribute it, is to spread awareness about the environmental impact of the fashion industry at large. So over the course of the last few months, I've visited many schools in my city, as well as schools in other cities online, and basically just talked about this project and the environmental impact of the fashion industry and denim more specifically. So I think just spreading awareness is one of the goals that I would like to obviously continue with and increase the reach slowly. But at the same time, I'm a student, so I don't think like I have obviously other commitments academically. So in terms of growth, I think something that we could realistically do and that we're looking towards doing is over the course of next year. So in the summer months, we obviously won't have, it won't be very useful to donate these within Delhi itself because it'll be warm and
Right.
people really need it. So what we were thinking, we would move further north to places like Kashmir, where it would still be cold and this project would still have meaning. And of course, what we'd also do during the summer months is keep collecting as many jeans as possible and making a larger number of bags. So this winter, we collected 5,000 pairs of jeans, and
Wow.
we're on the verge of reaching 700 sleeping bags distributed in the last 2 months. And I feel like that number can be increased dramatically for next year because, the bulk of this year was spent in just getting people to know about what we're doing. And now I think that we've reached a certain point, it'll be much easier to get both donations as well as actual donations in terms of actually buying the sleeping bags as well as collecting the jeans. So I think for next year we can target maybe 2 or 3 times the amount we've done this year without a problem. So yeah, I think that.
And I'm sure that you're going to achieve those numbers given how much, like with how much dedication, with how much kindness, and with how much responsibility at such a young age, Nirvan, you're stepping out and you're doing all of this. This is so inspiring. So when we talk of kindness, right? Kindness is a virtue that we all should follow, and I think we all agree with that. What does, through this project Dreams, what does kindness towards sustainability mean to you? What does kindness towards the planet mean to you?
So I think sustainability is ensuring that our planet exists in the future and is a place where we can all actually live and thrive. And I think one of the best ways to show kindness to the planet is through sustainability.
Right.
Because, I mean, if we don't act in a sustainable manner, we won't have a planet to look forward to existing in. And I think this project tackles both the kindness to the planet as well as to the people in the planet. Because on one hand, we're helping the environment, and on the other hand, we're helping people that don't have a place to sleep in the winter. So I think kindness works in both ways here. And I think, yeah, I think any form of kindness to the planet is great. And yeah, I think sustainability is definitely one of the best ways you can do that.
It's very true that you're touching, two sort of horizons,
Yeah,
kindness towards the environment and also kindness towards
yeah.
people by providing them, a situation where they can sleep peacefully. Any incident or any event that you'd like to share, which touched you throughout this practice, Nirvan? Anything that maybe, clicked towards you and you were like, okay, this is something that makes me realize that I'm doing something that's big.
Yeah.
Anything that touched you?
Yeah, definitely. I think the first time I actually went out to give these sleeping bags out on the streets, I realized how important this project actually is and and the conditions in which a lot of people are living in our city. And that really touched me to see that there's actually a lot of good that we're doing, and uh, to see those people on the street in those conditions and how happy they were to receive these sleeping bags. I think that really touched me the most and propelled me towards being even more dedicated to this.
It's very inspiring, to hear it from you that how happy it makes you. That the fact that, if we have a privilege, if we have the resource to do something, we should do it for kindness. We should do it for people, just for the sake of that happiness that we see,
Yeah,
right? That,
yeah,
that's very correct, and that's very inspiring also in all means. Quickly closing this discussion up, but before that, Nirvan, anything that you want to tell us and our audience as your message, like your messages to the public. Here
sure.
you go. This is your platform.
So I think I encourage everyone to go home and think about how they can recycle and do something good for the planet in any way possible. And secondly, I would say think twice before buying, because recycling is one thing, but if we just consume less, then we won't have to recycle as much. So I think that's people mindlessly buy clothes, especially, and I think if we think twice before doing that, it'll make a big difference. And lastly, I would say, I mean, I really appreciate if you could help this project specifically. I think that's one way you could help the world. So whether it's donating jeans or donating the sleeping bags, I think just, or even just supporting us on Instagram and things like that, anything helps. So yeah, I think that would be my message.
Um, that's that's fruitful and that's very insightful for sure. I'm sure that as this reaches to many and many people, as more and more people listen to this, you will get the required support. You will get more and more traction from people because
Yeah,
this is something that we all can do, right? What's
yeah,
bad and what's difficult in just recycling a thing that's in our wardrobe? It's not
yeah,
of use.
yeah,
So it's easy. It's very kind to the environment and to the people sleeping outside without a cover.
yeah,
So that would be it from today's discussion, Nirvan. And
yeah.
I really, really thank you for joining us, and I really thank all the audience for joining us for this
Thank
podcast.
you so much for having me. Yeah.
Thank you, and please keep watching 8Bs. Subscribe to our channel for more videos. Thank you, and goodbye.